Okay, so for people who have come again, sorry, again, since we have started the recording again, so we are just discussing about the branch instructions and how does the pipeline handle this branch instruction. So this is a stream of instructions, and we saw what happens in an instruction fetch stage and what happens in an instruction decode register fetch stage, and we said that the simplest way to handle the pipeline we handle the branch instructions in a pipeline is I do instruction. I execute the first instruction, and for the second instruction, I do an instruction fetch. But as soon as the first instruction figures out, or I know that it is a branch instruction, I just reissue the instruction fetch. There is a stall always, right? Because whenever there is a branch instruction, there is a stall. But this doesn't require any complex logic. All I have to know is whether the previous instruction is a branch or not. As soon as I figure out this previous instruction is a branch instruction, I will reissue the instruction fetch. So this is one way. Or I can build a predictor. I will say that the branch is not taken. So of course I can build two types of predictors now. I can say branch is not taken. Right? So this is one kind of predictor. The other predictor is branch is taken. So first we'll see what happens when the branch is not taken. If I predict branch is not taken, right? So I do the same thing again. Right? So I do the same thing again, and then I do an instruction fetch here. Now at the end of this, I know whether it is a branch or not. I also know the outcome, and I also know the PC value here. What is the right PC value, right? And I have predicted its branch is not taken, which means that I have fetched instruction two because I have predicted it as not taken. Since I have predicted it as not taken, I have fetched the next instruction. So I have fetched I2. So I've gone ahead and fetched I2. If the outcome of the branch is not taken, then I don't have to do anything because my prediction is right. So I do instruction decode, register, fetch, execute, memory, and write back. Right. So this is what I do. If prediction is right, if prediction is if prediction is right, I just do this. If the prediction is wrong, then I am worried because I have fetched instruction two, but whereas I have to fetch instruction three, so I just cancel this out, right? And I just cancel this out and do an instruction fetch again here, but this instruction fetch will be I4 and not I2. Right? So if the prediction is wrong, if the prediction is wrong, then I do this. So this is the story that we were discussing till last class. It's just a revision, but we didn't see the case where branch is taken. So now, can I predict the branch is taken? In this particular pipeline, I will not be able to get any benefit by predicting branch is taken because both the outcome of the branch and the exact PC value is known only here. So if I start predicting that the branch is taken, then I can fetch it only here, which means that there is always a stall. So if the predictor says branch is taken, then I don't get any benefit out of it because both the outcome and the exact PC value is known only here, which means that there is always a stall here. Did everybody understand why in this particular architecture branch is taken does not make sense? So if you have questions, feel free to ask me. So in this pipeline, it does not make sense if I do a branch is taken. But in some of the pipelines, if I know if the outcome of the branch, if I know the outcome of the branch a priori, but the actual target program counter at a very late stage in the pipeline, let's say I know the target PC maybe at the execution stage. Right? Let's say I somehow know the outcome of the branch here, whether it is taken or not. So let's write this. So let's say my prediction is branch is taken. In my pipeline, in this pipeline that we are discussing, whatever the pipeline is, this does not give me any benefit because I know the outcome and correct PC value both at the end of instruction decode register fetch stage. Right? So this is I mean, since I know the outcome and the correct PC value at both the same time, there's no point in me predicting it as branch is taken. But if there is a pipeline where the outcome, whether it is right or wrong, whether the outcome of a branch is known at this instruction decode stage, and the correct PC value, let's say, I mean, this is just an example. If it's deeper into the pipeline, let's say it's in the execution stage, at the end of the execution stage, then maybe okay, what am I saying? Sorry, this should be reversed, right? So if the correct PC value or the target PC value, I can't even say correct PC value. So I know the target PC address at the end of instruction decode register fetch stage, and the outcome of the branch, whether it is right or wrong, at the end of, say, execution stage. I mean, if there's such a pipeline, if such a pipeline exists, then this makes sense, because I could have gone ahead and fetched the target PC. If the prediction says the branch is taken, I could have gone ahead and fetched the target PC at the end of instruction decode register fetch stage, and at the end of the execution stage, I could say, okay, whether is my output, whether is my prediction right or wrong. If the prediction is right, I'll just allow it to continue. If the prediction is wrong, I will just squash it, right? Let's say I do something like this. Let's say I do instruction. So this is my instruction one. Memory and write back. Now this particular pipeline, somehow by some magic, I know the outcome only here. So I know the outcome here, and I know the target PC address here. Right. So let's say I say branch is taken, right? So I can go ahead and I can fetch the target IPC, whatever that is, target instruction here. And here at this moment, when I know the outcome of the branch, I either continue the pipeline or squash the pipeline, right? Or I squash the pipeline, depending on whether my outcome is right or wrong. In general, though it might look like this might not be possible in most of the Intel processors, in most of the CISC processors, you will know the target address long before you know the actual outcome of the branch, because the branch instruction itself is a complex mechanism. It will not be as simple as an instruction where I say branch 0 or branch not 0 or branch equal or something like that. It will be a complex branch instruction, which means that I will know the outcome of the branch very late in the pipeline stage, but I will know the target address. I will know what is the target address. I will know what is the target address very far, I mean, very early in the pipeline stage, but I will know whether the branch is actually taken or not only very late in the pipeline stage, which means that if I have a predictor which tells me predict is taken, it makes sense. Is this clear? Yeah, just answer the poll. I know the reason I took attendance is to get you out of sleep, because Monday and people might be sleeping. You and I was sleeping, so sorry, not Monday, Friday, but still it's 9. Right? So, okay, I think you guys are understanding. It's okay. So now my question is: now you saw that, okay, in our pipeline architecture, branch is taken prediction does not make sense. But let's say we are building for such a predictor, right? Or let's say we are building for such a crazy pipeline. Uh, and I can build a predictor which is taken. I can build a predictor which is not taken. Can you come up with a different predictor, or do you think there are only two different types of predictors that are possible to build? What do you think? Can you build only two different types of predictor, or do you think you can build multiple levels, multiple types of predictors? Yeah, any answer is fine. Please wake up. Wake up, guys. Pavan Sriram?
Yes, sir.
What's the answer, sir?
I think only two types.
But like as an engineer, you could always mix up things, right? I mean, one of the beauties of engineering is that if you don't know what to do, you take previous designs and mix it up and say, okay, this is my new design. Right? You can always do that, right? So what is the mix that you can do? Okay, let's find out some other person to. Pawan, Deepika. Deepika. Hello. Script has logged in for her, or has she logged in? Can somebody message her and wake her up? Saurav?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so do you think there are only two different predictors, or can you build multiple, different types of predictors?
I think two will be better.
Hmm?
Two will be enough.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, Deepika's mic is not working. Okay, it's okay. Only two will be enough. Enough, or can't you not build? I mean, why do you think it is enough?
I can't see any way.
Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to see? Okay, what is the okay? Let's see what is the problem if I have only two predictors. Like, let's say I have only two predictors. One predictor is predicting always. One type of predictor is predicting that the branch is always not taken, and the other predictor is always predicting that it is taken. Right. So let's look at a for loop. Right? So let's look at a for loop here. This is the C code that you have been accustomed to. Okay, let's write this in. So you are accustomed to this for loop. Now, if the branch is, let's say, so here, just to keep it simple, let's say, of course, the assembly is the reverse, but anyway, if the branch is taken, then if I is less than n, I go here. If the I is greater, if I is greater than or equal to n, then I come here, right? So what happens in a not taken case, right? So let's say in the not taken case, if I am always predicting it as not taken, and if n is say 5, let's say n is 5, how many times am I mispredicting and how many times am I predicting?
So all the 5 times you're mispredicting.
No, right? There should be one correct prediction always, right? I mean, it cannot be that all 5 times I will be mispredicting.
Yeah, the last one will be correct.
The last one will be correct, right? So I mispredict, right? I miss, and then I'm correct, right? So if the branch is not taken, I mean, it doesn't matter whether it is right or wrong, but there will always be one case where it's the reverse, right? And if it is taken, then I am correct, but I am wrong at the nth, right? Nth thing, right? So I am wrong at the last instance. Is everybody following why this is the case?
Yes.
Yes, right. So now, are you okay with this? Like, you are losing performance. Okay, let's say I have built a predictor which is taken. Somehow I know that the branches behave like this. Let's say I built a predictor which is taken. Then I am correct almost all the times, but only in the last instance I am wrong. So will you be okay with it? So do you think that this will
Yes,
not
sir.
affect? Okay. So okay, let's say you are okay. Let's say now this for loop is generally not like this. So now the for loop will be something like this. Generally, the for loop is something like this, right? And you are experts in now again writing such a piece of code, right? So there's some instruction. Now, how many times, let's say, now this particular branch is correct. So let's say Mn is 5. Then this particular branch is correct 4 times and wrong one time, right? So this particular branch. But how many times is this particular branch being actually executed? It is m into n times, right? So how many times are you wrong now?
5 times.
No. Okay, so okay, I should not have named this
For
variable.
the inner loop only 5 times.
Wait, just a second. Okay. If p is equal to 5, I am correct 4 times and I am wrong 1 time. Right? But how many times is this branch completely executed?
Mn times.
Mn times, right? So this m and n can be huge, right? So let's say m is 1000 and n is 1 million, right? You are easily touching 1 billion and you are wrong 1 billion times, even though you are right. So maybe even though you are right 4 billion times, right? So this is the numbers, right? So I am not making it up. This can be piece of code. So you are correct 4 billion times and right, and wrong 1 billion times. Okay? So are you still okay with this? So are you okay being wrong 1 billion times?
No, sir.
Yeah. So then what will you do if I'm not okay? So what is the other thing that you can do? Okay. Are you guys following or yeah, this is the problem if the classes are lying.
So unless there's any way to figure out the outcome at the earlier stage of a pipeline, I don't see how this can. I mean, I don't know how. What are
No,
the
no, we are building a predictor for this particular guy, right? We are building a predictor for this particular pipeline where the outcome of the branch is known at a very late stage in the pipeline, but I know the target PC address at a very early stage in the pipeline, which means that I can build two different kinds of predictors and make sense out of it. I can build a predictor which is only predicts not taken, and I can build a predictor which predicts only taken, right? And it will say always taken, right? So that's what I want. I'm building two different types of predictors. For this particular for loop, if I am building a predictor which always predicts as not taken, then I am wrong 4 times and I am correct 1 time. This I hope everybody is following, right? So what is the problem with what is the problem if I'm wrong? Then I'll have to flush the pipeline and start fetching it from the right place. What is the advantage if I am correct? Then I can just allow the pipeline as if there was no branch instruction, and I can allow as if it was the right thing that I did. Is this clear? I think it's not clear. Okay, can you answer yes or no? I mean, don't worry about the solution, but is it clear why this is happening? Okay. Okay, some of you haven't understood. Okay. Okay, we'll go back. In this particular stage, in this particular pipeline, that the MIPS pipeline. So I'm just introducing you a new kind of pipeline. I just want you to appreciate what's the role of branch predictor before we move to the next topic. Of course, I could have just skipped this, but it's important as a computer organization person to know that there is something called branch predictor, and it's an important thing. We'll see, we will derive what is the performance loss by using some kind of equations, but those come later once you build the intuition. So that's the goal. So now I can have two different kinds of predictors. So in the MIPS pipeline stage, of course, I can have two. I can say I will either take branch not taken or branch taken, but it does not make sense in the MIPS pipeline stage to say that branch is taken, because I know the outcome and the program counter value, which is the target PC. I know the outcome of the branch. What do I mean by the outcome of the branch? It means that whether the branch is taken or not taken. That's what I mean by outcome, right? So what is a branch instruction? The branch instruction will tell me whether I should not take the branch, whether I should not take the branch and continue with the next instruction, or should I go to the target address? So whether the branch is taken or not taken. So I know the outcome of the branch and also the target PC address. Here in this case, the target PC address is I4. So I will know the target PC address and the outcome of the branch only both at the end of instruction decode register fetch state, both at the end of instruction decode register fetch state. So if I build a predictor which says branch is not taken, then I can go and fetch the instruction to here, because to fetch something which is not taken, all I have to do is PC is equal to PC plus floor, and anyway I'm doing at the end of this, so I go and fetch this. So I continue the execution here. Right? And if the branch is actually not taken, then I just allow this to continue as if the branch did not affect me and there's no stall in the pipeline. But if I am wrong, then I just squash this thing and I reissue the instruction fetch to the target address, because at the end of this stage, I will know what is the target PC address. If I flip around and say I will predict that the branch is taken, so let's say I predicted that the branch is taken here, right? I somehow, let's say uh, let's say I can't predict the branch is taken here, because this is anyway I don't know that it's a branch instruction. There is no point in, so which means that I can't do anything here. And there's a stall here, and there's no point in predicting something here, because I already know the outcome. It is like predicting whether India won a match with New Zealand or not before. If it makes sense, if I predict it before the match has happened. But after the match has happened, if I predict, then I am the dumbest person on earth, right? So I don't need to predict it, because I already know the outcome, which means that there is nothing called a predictor which says branch is taken. Right? So in this particular MIPS pipeline stage, I can only do two different designs. Of course, I can do other designs, but I can do two particular designs. One is a design where I just go and fetch the instruction. I'm not worried about what is the outcome of the branch. If I know there is a branch instruction, I go and reissue the fetch and continue the execution. This is one way to do it. But the other way to do it is I will go and always fetch the next instruction, which means that I am kind of assuming that the branch is not taken. And if the branch is actually taken, then I flush the pipeline, reissue the next instruction. Is it clear till now? I mean, if it's clear till now, it should be fine. Can you answer now? I mean, only if it is clear till now. Forget about what we discussed later. Okay. Yeah. Once you appreciate this, I think you will appreciate the next thing. Okay. Now we will see a pipeline, which I'm just making it up. Though I am making it up, such pipelines exist in your mobile, in your processor today, in any of the CISC processor. This is in a flavor where it is true. I mean, not exactly maybe this is just an example I made up now, but there might be there will be a processor for which prediction taken might be true, and we'll see how, right? Let's say I know the outcome of the branch at the end of the execution stage. Don't ask me why, it's just an assumption. Let's say I know the outcome of the branch, whether the branch is taken or not at the end of the execution stage. At the end of the execution stage, I will know whether the branch is taken or not. But I will know the target PC address at the end of instruction decode register fetch. Right. So when I'm decoding the instruction, I know that it is a branch instruction. And I also know what is the target PC address, but I don't know whether the branch is taken or not, because maybe the branch is very complex and I will know the outcome of the branch only at the end of the execution stage. Right. Now, for this, I can build two kinds of predictor. Right. So one is branch not taken. If the branch is not taken, let's say my predictor says, okay, is the pipeline clear, or are there any questions in this kind of pipeline? Don't worry about why I made this pipeline up, just to make you understand branch predictor. I'm pushing this. Don't worry about how it is possible, but did you understand how this pipeline behaves?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's say I build a predictor which says branch is not taken, right? So if I build a predictor for this particular pipeline, if I build a predictor which says branch is not taken, what can I do? This is the predictor which says branch not taken. Let's write it as BN. Okay? Then I can go and fetch the instruction fetch here. I can continue the execution. I can do instruction decode register fetch execute. At the end of instruction decode, I know the outcome. So if the outcome is actually not taken, then I will allow the pipeline to continue. If the outcome is that the branch is taken, then I predicted branch is not taken, which means that what should I do? So I know that the outcome is wrong. So I had predicted it as not taken. right? So I predicted is not taken, but the actual instruction, actual branch is actually taken. So what should I do for this particular instruction?
Squash this one and
Squash this pipeline, right? So I just have to squash this and then reissue a fetch from here, right? So I have to reissue a fetch because I know the outcome here. So I reissue a fetch and continue the execution. So this is how I handle a branch not taken. If my prediction is branch is taken, then I can do something different. Let's say my predictor says branch is taken, right? Let's write it as branch taken, right? If the branch is taken, I will issue an instruction fetch here because at the end of this stage, I know the target PC address. So I will issue an instruction fetch here. Here, I know the outcome of the branch. If I am right, if the branch is actually taken, then I will continue with the instruction decode, register fetch, execute, memory, write back. Right. So I just continue, which means that there was only one cycle stall, which I could not have anyway done anything with it, but I would have saved one cycle stall. But if the branch is not taken, then I squash this instruction. And do a reissue. I will instruction fetch here, which is the target PC. Which is the PC is equal to PC plus 4. So now I can build two different predictors for this particular pipeline, where I can say I will build a predictor which always says branch is taken, which is always says branch is not taken. Is this clear now? Yeah, can you answer now? Don't worry about the technicality of the pipeline. It is just an example. But I can assure you that such pipelines exist in many of the processors even today. Actually, this is very true because branch is a big headache for a lot of people, a lot of processors. That's where there is an issue with the performance. That is where there is, I don't know how many of you follow computer architecture news. There has been security hacks that have happened based on the branch predictors. Intel took a very big hit because of it. Right. So branch prediction is a very important topic. That's why I'm stressing on it. If you have doubts, feel free to ask me. I will not kill you. Right. Okay. Okay. So now I have built two different predictors. Right? So for this particular for loop, if I build a predictor which says not taken, of course, this can be other way around. I'm not just using my mind to figure out what is right. Okay, let's write it as well. If for this particular branch, right, if n is equal to 5, if n is 5, then if I am predicting it as not taken, then I am wrong 4 times and correct 1 time. But if I'm predicting it as taken, then I am, because anyway I'm taking it, right? So let's say I'm taking this branch 4 times. I'm taking this branch only when n is equal to when I is equal to 5. I am not taking this branch and exiting this, right? That's what these. So I am correct 4 times and I am wrong 1 time, right? So this I'm okay. Okay, I am just wrong 1 time for this for loop. I'm okay. But this is not the code that you generally have. You will generally have such pieces of code, right? Where I will have nested for loops. This is pretty common. You can look out any code, matrix multiplication, matrix addition, or any code that you are writing, right? So generally these nested for loops are pretty common. So what happens in a nested for loop? I have just copied this particular for loop inside a nested for loop, which means that this is the for loop that I'm talking about. Now, if I look at this for loop alone, then I am correct 4 times, wrong 1 time. Suppose I built a taken predictor. I'm very happy with the taken predictor because it's wrong only once. So I built a taken predictor. So I am correct if I'm looking only at this particular thing, I'm correct 4 times, wrong once. But this is no longer guided by only this. I have this for loop itself is executed. This for loop itself is internal to other for loops, and it is executed m into n times because this is executed m times and this particular thing is executed n times. So this is n into m. I hope you know why this is true. So this particular for loop is executed m into n times. And let's say m is whatever some number and n is some number. If m into n is say 1 billion, then I am doing correct predictions 4 billion times. I am doing wrong prediction 1 billion times. So now my question is, did you understand this? So what I was trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now do you think you are okay with being wrong 1 billion times? Or can you do something better? Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
we
go
can
ahead.
mix both, like
Yes, right.
taken
So,
and
so
not taken.
yeah, that's the thing that we always do, right? So we'll
Yeah.
mix taken and not taken. But how do I mix taken or not taken? So, okay, and somebody told me I want to mix taken, not taken branch predictor. Okay, I should
Right.
mix it in such a way that, okay,
You
no, just a
are
second.
duplicating the
Huh?
IF hardware.
No, let's say I can't duplicate the IF. Because generally in complex pipeline stages, it is possible at some instances, maybe it is not possible at some instances. Yeah, as I said, this is a very complex topic, but let's go one after the other, right? We'll see what's the disadvantage if we duplicate the instruction fetch stage. Let's say I mix the predictor. Let's say I'm hell bent on building a good predictor because I am a machine learning guy. Right? Okay, let's assume that let's assume that who's the bakra here? No. Okay, I don't see anybody, but yeah, somebody who is a very machine learning expert, right? So he has come out and told he wants to predict everything, right? That's what these guys do, right? They want to predict everything on the earth, right? They want to predict what God predicts also, right? So it's like they want to predict everything under the sun. So they came and say, okay, you guys are doing 4 billion times correct and 1 billion times wrong, and you have built such a kind of predictor. So I will build a predictor which will mix both taken and not taken, and will mix it in such a way that I will start with the taken predictor. Before the taken predictor tries to predict something wrong, I will somehow figure out that it will. So I have started with the taken predictor because it is predicting me right 4 times. At the end of here, when I ask for the taken predictor as what do you want to predict, I will somehow figure out that it is giving me a wrong answer, and I will switch to the not taken predictor and I will predict it as not taken. So I will predict something like this. I will predict taken, 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 and then I will predict not taken. Then I will predict taken, 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 and then I will predict not taken. So my predictor is now predicting 4 times taken, and 1 time not taken. So somehow the predictor, the machine learning guy who built it, has built a predictor which is predicting 4 times as taken and 1 time as not taken. Now, how many times do I predict correct? For this particular example, how many times do I predict correct?
Always correct.
Always correct, right? And how many times am I wrong? Never, right? So do you think such a thing is possible to build a predictor?
So with machine learning,
Sorry?
with machine learning, like
No,
this is
not
the
with machine
real
learning.
thing. No,
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
Yeah. You actually don't. Okay, but let's say, is
Sir,
it possible to? Mhm.
sir, maybe we can like run it a few times and then see whether it is coming correct or not, the prediction, and then based upon that we can
Yeah, so this is kind of machine
switch.
learning only, right? So what you are saying is I look at the history, right? Let's say I have some history. So there is some observer, some hardware that is sitting and seeing that it is taken, 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 4 times taken, 1 time not taken, 4 times taken, 1 time not taken. So I see some history, right? I look at the history and then I modify my predictor such that it also starts predicting taken, 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 and not taken. So it's some kind of history, right? So that's what you are trying to say, right?
So can
So
hardware do that?
yeah, now my question is, can hardware do that? So how many of you think it is not possible for the hardware to do this? Okay, but before that, do you think this will give me an advantage in building such a predictor? Yes, right. This is
Yes, sir.
really, yeah, because I am always right, which means that there are only stalls because of the way the program is written. But I, as a hardware, I'm not issuing any stall because I'm resolving it really good by building a good predictor.
And assuming the predictor can do this fast enough.
Yes, yes. So your seniors have actually built such predictors. I'm not making it up. You can like talk to Amit or Aditya, who I think we are also looking into this. They have actually built such predictors, not of course, I mean, which can be realized in hardware. So they had different ideas to build such predictors, especially I think they had some 2-3 teams where they were building 2 different types of predictors. So they had something called weightage predictor and other predictors that they were building. So they were actually able to build such predictors. So this is a very hot, I mean, not hot topic because it has been very thoroughly explored, but this has been explored from past 4 decades. So this entire thing is called branch predictor. This is a very easy case that I told you. This is the easiest case I told you. any predictor in today's hardware is able to predict this. I mean, this is not a big thing for it. Any predictor that you take is able to predict such a thing. It's not a, as I said, it's not a very big thing for a predictor to predict this kind of pattern. But there are very haphazardous patterns because of the way you use pointers, because of the way you use your for loop, and because of all this functional programming and all these mallocs and all those things. There is a complex way of such things, how these things are handled. So even for that, you will be amazed to know that the prediction accuracy. Can you guess today's, if you are using your Intel processor? Let's say I cut open my Intel processor and see the branch predictor. Can you guess what is the prediction accuracy of an Intel branch predictor? Like, so you joined Intel, or you joined AMD, or you joined Tesla, or you joined Google, and somebody asks you to look into the build a branch predictor because that's what is killing the performance. And you saw that somebody has built a branch predictor a priori to you. Do you know what is the state? I mean, can you just guess? I know you will not know, but I'm just asking you to guess what is the state of the
70% maybe.
Yeah, is it 70%? Do you think the prediction accuracy 90%? Any other answer?
95.
No. It's generally
98.
around, yeah, it's generally around 98 to 97 to 99, 95 to 99% accurate predictors. And they are built in hardware, not in software. They have built such accurate predictors in hardware. Of course, people have pushed this boundary further around 99. But you might then ask me, hey, I got 97% prediction accuracy. Why should I worry about the 3% or 1% or 0.1%? It's like your parents, right? You got 99%, you went and told I got 99. Parents will ask, why didn't you get 1 mark, right? So of course it's not like that. You in the next class, we will see why, even if I'm wrong just 1% of the time, my performance degrades not just by 1% or 10%. My performance degrades by a lot. And even if I push the prediction accuracy by say 1%, the performance gain I get is pretty huge. So that's why these people spend a lot of time on building good predictors. Like Intel does this, everybody does this, right? So, and there is a lot of literature survey. You don't have to take my word for it. Just Google branch prediction. You will see tons and tons and tons of papers written every year. Right? So people are working on it. As I said, your seniors have also worked on it. So this is one of the interesting topics, but of course, this is not I mean, this is explored really well. Because if you want to build such predictors, this has already been explored. I mean, this is nothing. This you can actually come up with 100% prediction accuracy. If this is the for loop, I can build a hardware in 10 minutes which will come up with 100% accuracy. The reason is because I can actually look at previous branch history and figure out, okay, this is what is happening. But if you're interested in continuing this, then in your 4th year, we are offering computer architecture, where we will be spending at least 5-6 classes just on branch prediction and building good branch predictors. And also we will be looking at how does it affect security of the system. I don't know how many, as I said, I don't know how many of you were following the Intel meltdown, the Spectre meltdown and other meltdowns that happened, right? Where people were able to crack into the system, not a software hack, but using a hardware hack. One of the reasons was the branch predictor that Intel was using. And they had to switch off this branch predictor, which means that their performance degraded and the stock price went down and a lot of other things happened. Okay. I hope something is clear to you. If nothing is, what I was discussing here is not clear to you, I hope at least till here it is clear. You can forget about this, but at least I hope this part is clear to you, right? I hope this part is clear to you in this class. If this is not clear to you, then I am worried. So I will stay back for another 5 minutes. If this particular part is not clear to you, please stay back and get the doubts clarified. Okay. And if you want to discuss about the attendance also, please discuss about the attendance. So I'll stay back. So we'll close for today. In the next class, we will see one example how to do these things from the compiler perspective. How can I handle branches from the point of view of a compiler? Of course, this again will be an introduction, and then we'll build on it in your next semester. We'll build good branch handling mechanism in compiler. When you will be actually building a compiler, you will be building that into your compiler. So that we'll see half an hour in the next class, and then in the next half an hour, we'll actually see what is the problem with branches and why is it so problematic. Why even 1% prediction accuracy will give me such a performance boost, or if I'm wrong even like just 10% of the time, I can just sell my company and go and sleep. Right? Okay. Yeah, I'll stay back. Others can leave if there's nothing else. I'll stop the recording.